on my way now. I'm on my way now. I'm on my way now.
All right, I'm gonna try this. I know Anna already said it's like cold water and salt.
And yogurt.
Oh, and yogurt. I left out one of the most important ingredients. So, first time trying ayran. We are extra excited about today because we have waited so long to try this type of food.
We are in Istanbul. It's really well known for its wonderful cuisine, and today we're going to be trying some street food. So there were so many options for food today. We could probably do like 10 videos on street food alone, but we did our research, we narrowed it down, and I think we have it down to maybe 5 or 6 key things that we really want to try today. So we're just gonna jump right into things. The very first dish we're starting with is something I never ever would have dreamed is a street food here in Istanbul. It's called Kumpir. I don't know if I'm saying that properly. I'm sure we're gonna mispronounce pretty much everything today, so please forgive us for that. But basically, it's a massive baked potato, and then you get to pick whatever toppings you want. And it kind of feels like you're like picking a bunch of mezes. Like there's a bunch of sauces, a whole bunch of different veggies. It's kind of like ordering a sandwich, right? Like you would at Subway.
This thing is like the size of a football. And this is dish number 1 for the day.
Yeah, so we got some sort of like, I think, beetroot type sauce, yogurt sauce. We got some cabbage there, corn, maybe some pickles, some sort of wheat, and I think there's mayo on the top. Oh my god, this is gonna be hard to eat. I don't even know how to describe this. It's really interesting. Maybe it's like the ultimate comfort food. Like you have the nice warm creamy potato. Oh, I think there's cheese in there already too. So cheesy potatoes and then all this like creamy goodness on the top with the sauce. There's a crunch from those the cabbage that we got. It's good. It's heavy though.
All right, eating a baked potato on the street in Istanbul. Oh, that works. I've only ever had, I think, sour cream on a baked potato, and that was it. So we were clearly missing out with all these toppings. One thing I noticed right away is everything that Anna said is correct, but there's also a pickly taste. We did put a lot of pickles on there, but it really comes through. I really like the pink, kind of like the beetroot sauce, and the couscous is a nice touch as well. The potato itself is just cooked to perfection. So digging this dish. So the more and more I get into this, I notice the potatoes. I think I mentioned they're creamy, but they're so creamy. The consistency is entirely different than what I'm used to. What I'd like to know is, did we put the right toppings on this? So if you're from Turkey or Istanbul, I'd love to know, what do you put on your potato? Let us know in the comments. All right, well, we are clearly off to a delicious start. We do have another dish in mind now, though.
We do. It's just up the street here. It's maybe, hopefully a little bit smaller, but we'll see. All right, stop number 2. And I wasn't sure if I picked the right place. It just had really good reviews, but Anthony Bourdain was here, so I think I chose wisely.
So this little guy, or should I say big guy, is called durum. Now, durum refers to the wrap itself. It's kind of like a tortilla or almost like a flatbread, and the kind I got today is Adana. I actually think it's called spicy Adana, so let's give it a try. Oh. I didn't know what this was going to be like when I bit inside it, but first thing I noticed is that meat. I saw them in there cooking it on the grill, and it is just cooked to absolute perfection. The meat is nice and soft, a little bit crunchy as well, and then there's some other ingredients in there as well, which are the donor ingredients. There's some onions, I think there's some parsley as well. It's a really solid wrap.
All right, it's my turn. So I actually went for the chicken shish. I did just try a little nibble of Trevor's, and you guys might know that I don't typically eat red meat, but I might regret that I didn't get the same one as him because it's delicious. It's nice and warm, like it's hot in my hands, and I can see like there's little like char marks on the tortilla or on the wrap. So I wonder if it was done in like a wood oven or something, but it smells and feels really good.
Now, I didn't see the wraps in there actually being cooked, but I bet you maybe it is in the wood oven.
Oh, you guys, that is so amazing. The chicken is ridiculously tender. Like, it basically barely have to even chew it. It's not dry at all. It's perfect. It's got nice seasoning on it. Like Trevor said, I'm not quite sure what else is in there. I see tomatoes, some onion. So some of the research that I do is I read blog posts, I read reviews, but I also watch some vloggers, and somebody else did this in one of their videos, not here, at a totally different place, and they found it very, very dry, and they weren't a big fan of this. I can say this one is not dry at all. It's perfect. The wrap is perfect. The insides are perfect. This is so delicious.
Well, how about that? 2 for 2, would you say?
That was so beyond 2 for 2. Like, they were beyond delicious. So I hope the day continues to be as good as it has been so far.
We are off to an amazing start for this street food video.
Yeah. So next up, we're looking for a thing called, I think it's Gozleme. I'm, again, probably pronouncing everything completely wrong. I think it's kind of like a Turkish crepe. All right, we are on to dish number 3. It's called something like Gozleme, like I said. It's kind of like a thin pancake or a crepe. Inside, you can get kind of whatever filling you want, but we went with cheese and sausage.
It looks good. And check out what else we got over here.
I'm actually really nervous about this one. This is like probably one of the most typical drinks you can get in all of Turkey. Everybody is drinking it all the time. I think it's called Ayran, A-Y-R-A-N. It's basically a yogurt drink, and in it is also some cold water and salt.
It's very good. It's got those delicious little chard marks that we talk about all the time. We love it on a pizza. Of course, this is not a pizza, but we just always like when it's doughy and it has that charness. I didn't get a lot of cheese though, so one sec. It's very flavorful. The cheese is nice and creamy. I didn't get any sausage on that bite, so I'm gonna have to hunt for one of those. That's a ticket right there. That's where all the flavor's coming in, and it's just rounding out the cheese. The meat sausage is like a little bit spicy. It's nice and tender, and overall it's just really, really good. I really like the combo, like I said, with that cheese, with that bread, and there's a bit of, I think maybe some olive oil on this as well. Makes for a good little lunchtime treat. All right, I'm gonna try this. I know Anna already said it's like cold water and salt?
And yogurt.
Oh, and yogurt. I left out one of the most important ingredients. So, first time trying ayran. Oh, whoa! You know, it tastes like, you know when you get a yogurt and it's all liquidy in the bottom, like a yogurt that we would be used to anyway, I guess, in Canada? It tastes like that. It tastes like the juice in the bottom. This is also, I think it was freshly made here, which is probably the key. You know what? Drink number 2, like, I like this. I could probably down it now that I'm into this. Just the initial reaction was like, whoa, what is this drink?
All right, so there's some tomatoey sauce, kind of maybe spicy tomatoey sauce on the side. I'm gonna try that on it. And I'm using my hands. Hopefully I'm not offending anybody, but.
Yeah, we never know if you're supposed to use your hands or a fork and knife. I mean, they provide it, but when we use a fork and knife, we seem to get called out for not using our hands, especially empanadas.
Wow, that's delicious. Actually, I'm not even sure what kind of sauce this is. There's something crunchy in it, almost like peanuts or something. I don't think it is peanuts, but it adds a nice little touch to it. The sausage is delicious. I'm totally, really, really enjoying Turkish sausage. I know it's beef, but like anytime we've had it, I really, really enjoyed it. The cheese is nice and light, and same thing with like the outer casing is like just really light and fluffy, and quite enjoyable.
So now the question is, are you gonna try the ayran?
I'm gonna try it. I'm actually really nervous about this. It doesn't really smell like anything except yogurt.
I mean, your brain's gonna think it's milk. That's what it's happening to me.
Wow, you're actually right. It totally tastes like plain yogurt with a little pinch of salt in it, and it's quite, yeah, like milky. It's like thick milk. I I like it. I don't know if I love it. I don't know if I'd be like everybody here that seems to drink it constantly. But it's not as bad. I was really nervous of it, and it's not bad.
I think it's one of those things that if we lived here and we had it over time, it would probably grow on us.
I hear the more you drink it, the more you like it. I don't know if I'm going to test that or not. We'll see. So it's been a few hours. We ate a lot this afternoon, so we had to take a little bit of a break.
Yeah, we needed to have a quick nap because we have more food to eat. Now, we just realized also, if you got this far and you're like, who are these people? I'm Trevor, this is Anna, we're the Delightful Travelers. There's a little subscribe button. If you click that and the little bell, it will allow you to follow along on all of our Turkish adventures. Now, let's go get some food.
So our last two dishes of the night are going to be things that people often refer to as Turkish pizza. This first one is called Lahmacun. Hopefully I'm, again, saying that right, but you guys can correct us if we're wrong. It's basically like a very, very, very thin crust. Then they put some mincemeat and some spices, and I think maybe some tomato on top. It should be very, very thinly done. And then traditionally it is cooked in a wood oven.
So we just asked the right way to do this, like the way a Turkish person would do it. And I guess what you do is you dress it up with some vegetables. So there's some lettuce on there. It's very basic vegetables, a little bit of olive oil. And then I guess the idea is you roll it. And then I suppose you just pick it up and eat it. It's kind of like a wrap in the end. So it looks really cool. It's a lot of fun. And again, back to those char marks we talked about before. We're such big fans of that stuff. I think we're going to like this one. That is just heaven in a little wrap. The veggies and all, they're pickled. So it just really brings out the flavors in the meat itself. I think what we got on here is there was some sausage. Is that right? I think I got that. All right, minced meat, right. Sorry, we had sausage earlier. But you take that minced meat and then you wrap it up in this really, really thin crust here. And again, those char marks are so good. I gotta take another bite. It's nice and light. Like, when you look at this, before you wrap it, you think it's gonna be really heavy. But once you wrap it up, and the veggies in there, it turns out to be like a really light meal. Very good. All right, so Anna is loading hers up.
Yeah, so I think there's like cabbage there, parsley, radish, I think that is.
I think it is radish. And you can see the minced meat in there as well. It's just kind of with that cheese. Looks good.
Lemon.
Put a bit of lemon on there. Zesty.
Here we go. Wow, that is stellar. The odor, or like the crust, is so thin that it has a really, 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 really nice little crunch to it. Really nice flavor to it. Whatever spices are in the sauce are like superb. I don't know what they are. I honestly don't know what they are. Probably a lot of parsley, but there's a little bit of spice.
It's nice and pickly too. I don't know if you noticed that, but like, what a great little wrap.
I love it.
All right, well, I think we just decided that might have been our favorite yet.
And it might be my new favorite food, actually. It was that good. I loved it.
Why haven't we had that before? We already said we would have gotten more of them. I know, like, we were just sharing dishes today because we're just two people eating all this food in one day, and believe it or not, there's one more thing left to try.
So we're interrupting our Turkish pizza a little bit. For one, I wasn't actually expecting to get, but I had read about its spicy lentil soup. I think it's a very typical soup that you get here in Istanbul, probably during the winter months. It just comes with a little slice of lemon on the side, so it looks nice and thick and creamy. It is a blended soup, so there's not like there's no chunks of lentils in it or anything.
I don't know if you guys can see it, but the steam coming off that right now. Whew.
It's called spicy. It's not particularly spicy, but it is very flavorful. Definitely some lentils in there, some spices, a little bit of a tomato flavor, but I don't know if there's actually tomatoes in there. Nice and hearty and just a good winter dish. Keeps you warm inside.
All right, here we go. We have got ourselves a cheese pide. Now, I think that's how you say it. But I'm sure many of you looking at this, you're going to realize right away that it sort of looks like a pizza. I mean, anyone from where we're from, in Canada or the US or lots of places in the world, sort of looks like a pizza, except the shape is different. And I think they take the flatbread and they kind of curl it up, make it into this long oval shape, and of course put it in that, I believe it was a wood oven, and there's cheese on there. It looks ridiculously good, and it smells amazing. We often just go for cheese because we had so many different things today. I feel like we just need to take it easy. So let's see what it's all about. That is just lovely. There's beautiful flavors happening in there. Packs a little bit of a punch. The cheese is creamy. There's a bit of sharpness to it, I would say. And this bread, clearly of all the dishes we had today, this bread, this pita bread, we just keep coming across it with all these chard marks. So it's clearly a big part of the Turkish cuisine. It's very, very good. Also on this pizza, I'm not sure if it's just one cheese or not, but you can see there's a bit of oil on there as well, and the crust is nice and crunchy. So. It's solid. Like, I love this.
So I just noticed some chili flakes, I believe, sitting on the table. So I am going to add this to the entire thing. Hopefully, Trevor, you don't mind.
No complaints from me if it's spicy.
I took the end because it looks like a little boat. So I wouldn't say it's like the most exciting thing I've eaten today, but it's definitely yummy. Really, the crust, I love that I took a really crusty piece because I think the crust is really like the best part of this. Got a little bit of that char on it, so it's got that woody like oven taste to it. And then the cheese, it's pretty mild, but yeah, it's good. I'm glad I put the chili flakes on it. In the run of our travels, we definitely get to do quite a few of these food eating days, but I already can say this is gonna be one of my favorites.
Oh, wow. Turkey, like especially Istanbul, is just a melting pot for food. I mean, there is so many dishes here. When we were, well, Anna was doing the research. She was trying to find what to eat today, and there's so many options.
I had like a massive list of things. So
yeah. So I guess the moral of the story is you can't go wrong with whatever you choose here when you're in Turkey, because all the dishes are really good. And don't worry, we're going to be eating more food in a few videos from now. We think we're still kind of planning that out. But if you haven't watched the last video, we were exploring this beautiful city.
We went to some major hot spots, some tourist destinations. We explored some neighborhoods. Yeah, it was a fun video. And then next week we're gonna explore more, actually.
Yeah, we want to go exploring again before we get back into food, because we've eaten enough today, like for multiple days, to be completely honest. But all we know is we're having so much fun here in the city.
All right, guys, that's it.
From Istanbul, wishing you delightful travels.
See you soon.